On the news, Uniben condemns brutal killing of final year student. Bandits abduct 10 secondary school students in Kaduna State. And reps condemn calls for interim government, ask security agencies to be vigilant. It's a pleasure to have you join us on News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Sinisola Atikun. The management of the University of Benin has condemned the brutal killing of a final year student and Kegite chief in the Students' Hall of Residence inside the university campus. In what looked like a cult-related incident, the student, identified as Desmond Mayor, but popularly called Mayor, was said to have been shot in his room in Hall 3 hostel of the university. A statement on Tuesday by the school's public relations officer, Benedict Ehanire, said the gruesome shooting was carried out by a yet-to-be-identified gunman. While commiserating with the family and colleagues of the late student, Ehanire in the statement disclosed that the management was working closely with the police and internal security to apprehend the killer. Bandits have abducted 10 students from Government Day Secondary School in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. In a statement on Tuesday, Samuel Aruwan, the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, said the students were abducted on Monday. Aruwan said the preliminary report received by the state government did not ascertain whether the students were kidnapped in the school or outside. However, it is waiting for further information on where the abduction took place. He added that the government will issue a public statement accordingly when these reports are received. To electoral matters now, the House of Representatives has condemned calls for an interim national government in Nigeria after May 29, 2023. This followed a motion of urgent national importance raised by member Oyime Idem, drawing attention of the Green Chamber to the statement issued by the Department of State Services, warning of plots to install an interim government after the outcome of the presidential election. The lawmakers feared that such calls are capable of truncating the country's democracy and causing anarchy across the country. They urged the security agencies to be on alert and warned aggrieved parties to await the outcome of litigations before the court. President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to approve the issuance of 10.69 billion naira promissory note to Kogi State government for projects done on behalf of the federal government. His request was conveyed in a letter to the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, which was read during plenary on Tuesday. Reading out the letter, Lawan said the 8th National Assembly passed the resolutions approving the issuance of promissory notes to 24 out of 25 state governments. The Senate President thereafter mandated the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts to work on the President's request and report back to the Senate in 2 weeks.
Dear distinguished Senate President, request for resolutions of the National Assembly for the reimbursement of the sum of 6,601,769,470 naira 99 kobo to Plateau State Government and the sum of 3,084,769,393 naira 63 kobo to Borno State Government through the issuance of promissory notes in respect of federal road projects executed by the states. The Senate may wish to be informed that the Federal Executive Council, FEC, at its meeting of 1st February 2023, approved the reimbursement of the sum of 6,769,470 naira 99 kobo to Plateau State Government and the sum of 3,084,769,393 naira 63 kobo to Borno State Government through the issuance of promissory notes in respect of federal road projects executed by the states. The extract from the conclusion of the meeting of FEC, reference EC 3/2023-5, is attached as appendix. The Senate may wish to note that the approval by FEC was subsequent to the recommendation of an interministerial committee which reviewed the request for reimbursement by the state governments.
As the race for Senate presidency heats up, the senator representing Imo West Senatorial District, Osita Izunaso, has added his voice to calls on the leadership of Nigeria's governing party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, to zone the presidency of the 10th Senate to the southeast zone of the country. Izunaso made the call in an interview with State House correspondents after he paid a visit to President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday to appreciate him for the conferment of a national honor on him and to discuss a wide range of issues of national importance. The senator, who said he had expressed his desire to lead the Senate, added that his years of experience as a senator qualifies him for the position.
If I'm the oldest senator in both Southeast and South-South, I think the question should be obvious. I'm the oldest. There is no senator today in APC of Southeast or South-South that's older than me in the Senate. And that is an institution that believes in ranking. So I'm the highest ranking senator in both Southeast and South-South. I came to the Senate in 2007. I was in the House of Reps. I've been in the party for 5 good solid years. I ran the party to the best of my ability as National Organizing Secretary of this party. That saw us a victory in 2015 and 2019. So I think we have paid our dues.
The Nigerian Senate has adopted the report of the conference committee which was set up by the two chambers to harmonize the bill for an act to establish the Nigeria Peace Corps. In the harmonized report, which was laid and adopted by the Senate during the plenary on Monday, the Apex Legislative Chamber endorsed the version of the bill as passed by the House of Representatives. The bill, among others, seeks to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps as a body charged with the responsibility to develop, empower, and provide gainful employment to youths, facilitate peace, volunteerism, community service, neighborhood watch, and a nation building.
A brief report of the conference committee of both chambers of the National Assembly concerning a very minor discrepancy, and it had to do with the name and title of the bill. That's the only thing. Whereas the Senate passed this bill with the name National Unity and Peace Corps of Nigeria, the House version had Nigeria Peace Corps as contained in the original bill. Mr. President, both chambers, as represented by the committees duly constituted in accordance with the standing orders, met and considered this singular discrepancy and adopted the House version. And the committee recommended that the House version, which retained the word Peace Corps of Nigeria as a title, be retained. And we so moved.
The Senate do approve the conference committee report on the Nigerian Peace Corps Establishment Bill 2023. Say aye. Aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
We now go back to reports of insecurity in tertiary institutions in the country. Now, joining me to discuss the recent reports, disturbing trend, I have Abubakar Kari, the Associate Professor of Political Sociology and Dean of Student Affairs at the University of Abuja. Many thanks for joining me. Now, recent reports indicate the return of insecurity in schools, just when we thought the situation was improving. Now, why do you think that this is happening?
Well, there are so many reasons for the spike in the insecurity across the campuses. In the first place, it depends on the campus, and it depends on what the issues are. But I think most of the problems have to do with activities of undesirable groups. There is also the issue of vices, that is, the involvement of students in certain activities, very, very dangerous, like secret cultism, abuse of drugs, the activities of the Yahoo boys. And the tendency of them to be recruited by politicians to perpetrate all sorts of nefarious activities. So the reasons are quite many. As I mentioned, it depends on the campus.
Now, you mentioned cultism as one of the reasons why the violence is increasing. Now, the murder of the UNIBEN final year student has created another scare as regards cultism in educational institutions. Now, what do you think can be done to curb cultism in the country?
Well, I think first and foremost, the authorities must be alive to their responsibilities. But so it takes a lot of planning, it takes the involvement of stakeholders, including parents, the courts, and so on and so forth. But within the campus, I think first and foremost, what needs to be done is sensitization. The students must be sensitized adequately to refrain from getting involved in it. It should also be made very, very clear that there is zero tolerance as regards cultism, like what we do at the University of Abuja. It attracts instant expulsion from the university and handing over of the alleged culprits to the security agents. So there should be no tolerance for it, absolutely. And it should be very, very clear to the students that anybody who is involved will not be spared, no matter where he or she comes from. There should also be provision of certain escapes, as I would call them, because sometimes students get involved in cultism for lack of something to do. So the authorities need to provide certain things, need to provide major sporting activities, entrepreneurial activities, and so on, so that the students should have something to do. And one of the things we do here at the University of Abuja is right from the admission process, we look out for potential troublemakers and we put them out. We also do some kind of interview, not necessarily interviews in order to get to the university, but we watch the character, comportments, and activities of certain students. And of course, university authorities must liaise with the relevant security agencies, particularly the police and the Department of State Security, in order to fish out and instantly deal with the culprits. So many things can actually be done.
Well, Abubakar Kari, Associate Professor of Political Sociology and Dean, Student Affairs at the University of Abuja, many thanks for lending your thoughts and for your time. We'll take a break here, but still to come, Finland inducted into NATO as Russia warns of countermeasures. We'll bring you details of the story and more when we return.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it. use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DG360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here's a recap of our top stories tonight. The management of the University of Benin has condemned the brutal killing of a final year student and Kegaite's chief in the Students' Hall of Residence inside the university campus. In what looked like a cult-related incident, the student, identified as Desmond Mayor, popularly called Mayor, was said to have been shot in his room in Hall 3 hostel of the university. While commiserating with the family and colleagues of the late student, Ehanire in the statement disclosed that the management was working closely with the police and internal security to apprehend the killer. We also told you that bandits have abducted 10 students from Government Day Secondary School in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. In a statement on Tuesday, Samuel Arowan, the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, said the students were abducted on Monday. Arowan said the preliminary report received by the state government did not ascertain whether the students were kidnapped in the school or outside. However, it is waiting for further information on where the abduction took place. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Japan will end the current border control measures on travelers from overseas on May 8, in line with its decision to categorize COVID-19 as a common disease. The government will simultaneously start a new genomic surveillance program which entrants with symptoms such as fever are tested voluntarily with the aim of detecting the new infectious diseases. Ahead of the across-the-board lifting of border control measures, Japan will ease those on all arrivals from mainland China from Wednesday and give them the option of entering the country by presenting proof of being inoculated with 3 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. British researchers are developing a groundbreaking technology to monitor genetic changes in respiratory viruses as they circulate around the world. The system is to be used to pinpoint dangerous new variants as they emerge and act as an early warning system for new diseases and future pandemics. According to the team, which is based at the Wellcome Sanger Institute in Cambridgeshire, targets would include influenza viruses, respiratory syncytial virus RSV, coronaviruses, and previously unknown pathogens. We'll take another break here and return with more stories in business and international scene. Do stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
But you just lied to someone that we are in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Mary Kano joins us now with updates in business. Over to you now, Mary.
Thank you, Simisola. Welcome to Business News. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has refuted allegations that it paid the sum of 20 billion naira to ghost consultants and a theft of multi-billion naira tax due to the Ogun State government. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Garba Muhammad, said in a statement that the allegation of a missing 20 billion naira was absolutely false and baseless and demanded a retraction as alleged by an online medium. According to Muhammad, the process of engaging consultants at NNPC Limited whenever the need arises is clear and verifiable and follows global best practices. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says Africa can become the first green civilization to use renewable fuel for the purpose of a transformative economy by using its young population and effectively deploying green manufacturing on a scale required to become the global factory of the world. Osinbajo said this during the official signing of the Carbon Vista joint venture agreement between the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority and its development partner, Vital. Also speaking at the event, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said that the Carbon Vista Agreement represents another milestone to build critical infrastructure and create investment opportunities to drive economic growth in the country.
We can start from where we are today. We do not have to start from where the rest of the world has, especially the global north, is at the moment. If we are the least emitters, and we're able to use green energy effectively, we're able to use the young population that we have, we're able to effectively deploy green manufacturing on the scale that will be required to become the global factory of the world, the global green factory of the world, and the global green power of the world. We can indeed do something that is revolutionary and different. And this is one of the reasons why I think that what we're seeing today, this kind of collaboration between the NSIA and Vitor, is an important one, because the pipeline of projects that they are talking about are the sort of projects that will make us a truly green economy.
Carbon Vista represents yet another milestone in NSIA's mission to build critical infrastructure and create investment opportunities that drive the economic growth and development in Nigeria. I'm particularly pleased that this initiative is a joint venture between two important players in their respective fields, targeting one common goal: to invest an initial sum of $50 million towards developing sustainability-driven projects in Nigeria. This venture is expected to attract additional capital and leverage the large pool of ESG resources to create new businesses and develop the voluntary carbon markets in Nigeria.
We'll take a break now and be back with stock market reports. To stay with us. Nigeria's equities market, which opened the month of April in red, decreased further by 0.27%. Investors lost 84 billion naira, and the record consecutive negative close this month pushed lower this year's record positive return to 5.43%. The all-share index and market capitalization decreased from preceding days' high to 54,035.39 basis points and 29.4 trillion naira. Now, the stock market's weak performance was caused majorly by continued sell-offs in stocks like Multiverse and Eterna, as both equities topped the losers counter. Now, today's market activities showed trade turnover settled higher relative to the preceding day's session, with the value of transactions up by 3.06 billion naira. A switch now to the global scene. Let's see how the stocks are faring. Well, it's a mixed trading day with the FTSE and Dow Jones shrinking as investors assess a spike in oil prices and what that could mean for the global economy. That's a stock market report. Simisala, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that update. And on the global scene, Finland has become the 31st member of NATO in a historic shift that has drawn an angry warning of countermeasures from the Kremlin. Finnish Defense Minister Antti Kainonen called it a win-win situation ahead of the choreographed final formalities before Finland's blue and white flag can be hoisted in front of NATO's headquarters. But Moscow decried the move as an assault on Russia's security and national interest. Moscow's all-out invasion of Ukraine last year upended Europe's security landscape and prompted Finland and its neighbor Sweden to drop decades of military non-alignment. Well, it's now time for entertainment update on News Now.
Nigerian musician Shina Rambo, son of Governor Ademola Adeleke, and his wife, Kot Adeleke, have reconciled after a very public and messy marital drama, making the headlines last year when Kot said the marriage was over, accusing her husband of domestic violence, while also being physically abused by his sister, Folashade. The reconciliation comes as a surprise after Kot's mother had released a video of her daughter and Shino enjoying a family outing with their daughter on her Instagram page. Well, fans say this development is a reminder to respect the privacy of couples and allow them to resolve their issues without undue interference. Popular Nigerian actress Tonto Dike has reacted to the arrest of controversial relationship blogger Blessing CEO. 3 days ago, it was reported that the socialite was arrested and remanded in prison till 30th of May by the Federal High Court in Lagos for cyberbullying. Expressing her joy at the arrest, Tonto Dike says she feels no pity for her, explaining she needs to be taught a lesson for berating a dead woman. That's all on the entertainment segment of News Now.
In sports, former light welterweight world champion Amir Khan has been handed a 2-year ban from all sport after testing positive for a prohibited substance. According to the UK anti-doping, Khan returned a positive result for the anabolic agent Ostarine following his loss to Kell Brook in Manchester in February 2022. Khan, who announced his retirement in May last year, accepted a violation of anti-doping rules but said he had not intentionally ingested the substance, an argument accepted by an independent panel following a hearing in January. The ban is deemed to have commenced on April 6, 2022, when his provisional suspension was imposed and will expire on April 5, 2024. That's all in our news bulletin this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Simisola Achikun. Bye for now.